Hey, good morning, everyone. A number of years ago, a Korean airline, a commercial airplane, was shut down by the Soviet missile because it happened to enter the Soviet airspace. More than 100 people on board were killed instantly. That raised a lot of diplomatic issues between the South Korean government and the Soviet Union. Because it happened to deviate from its course while it was shut down. Just like there is a course for an airplane to fly, or in the ocean there is a course for a ship to navigate. For human beings, for us to live very safely, comfortably, enjoyably, there is a path that leads to unconditional or perpetual happiness. We hear the word dharma, the Sanskrit word, dhamma in Pali. What does that mean exactly? Dharma. Jake, what does that mean, dharma? Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, universal truth, or in a broader sense, it means the cosmic law, or in a narrow sense, usually it implies the teaching of the Buddha, or the realized ones. Everybody would like to live a happy and free life, but unfortunately, we do not know the exact path that leads to happiness. We think we know, but we are not quite sure of that. Whether the happiness or freedom that we enjoy is just a temporary or it is perpetual. When you drive in Columbia County area, probably you do not need a map or navigator. But if you drive to some unfamiliar area, we need to have a map, or we have to follow the navigator. If we would like to walk on the path that will lead to indestructible happiness and freedom, we need some guide. That guide was shown by the realized ones, by the Dharma. In the Bible, we see the expression, I am the way. Jesus said, I am the way. So Taizan frequently told his disciple, did you find your 공부길? 공부길 in Korean means, it sometimes means the spiritual practice. It literally means the path of the Dharma, or the path of the practice. When you visit some Buddhist monastery in Asia, sometimes you can see some stone lantern with the two lion images. Two lions holding up a crystal ball on both the sides. The crystal ball means our original mind, or Buddhahood. Two lions imply two paths to reach Buddhahood. One is the path of Dharma study. The other is the path of a practice. For example, when you drive to the Washington, D.C., we needed to know where it is. We have to know the direction first, and then we should drive. Even though you know exactly where Washington, D.C. is located, if you don't drive, then we cannot reach there. Studying Dharma is attaining a map or navigator. Practice is actual driving to reach to our destination. So two paths, a path of a Dharma study and a path of a spiritual practice are both essential for us to attain Buddhahood, for every practitioner to reach the real nirvana. So one Korean, very prominent Buddhist monk said in this way, on his commentary on the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment, an understanding that does not have a practice is empty. A practice that does not have understanding will be obstructed. Especially Dharma is condensed into a scripture, whether it is a Bible or a Quran, or all kinds of scriptures are a condensed or abstracted form of a Dharma. It's kind of a manual that we can apply to enrich our real life. There is a Chinese saying, before a saint is born, the way means that the universal truth, the way is in the heavens, the realm of universal truth. When the saint comes to the world, the way is with the saint. When the saint passes away, the way is in the scripture. Several years ago, when I was in Korea, my friend drove me to Iksan City, where the Korean headquarters is located. These days, navigators are very sophisticated. It has many functions. So, at the time, he was between jobs. He has a very stressful time. When he drove too fast, the navigator told us, ding, 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 you are 10 miles over the speed limit. He drives some more, make a left turn after 100 yards. He told me, I wish I had this kind of a navigator for my life that directly tells me which path we are supposed to walk or drive. But you know what? Scriptures are the navigator that tells us how to drive our mind, how to live our life. Humans' problems or agony, they are very, very the same. Whether it can be some financial problem or relational issues, whether they are Asian, whether they are Caucasian, whether the people in older days or whether they are living in modern society, our problems are all very, very similar. I heard from television on a pyramid which was made more than 3,000 years ago, there is a scribble that was written many, many years ago that says, these days, younger generation is so rude. We are very worried about their idea of a sexual revolution. Our problem, as well as our solutions, can be also very, very similar. When you read the scripture, then how to break our bad habits, how to let go of our unwholesome desire, whatever thing it is, how to stay calm and centered in all kind of a trying situation, all kind of problem, as well as a solution is already in the scripture, whatever scripture, not just the Buddhist or Christian tradition, in the scripture of all the realized ones. For example, when we hear Dalai Lama is in Albany, probably some of you or most of you would like to go there and meet him, or have some, if the chance is allowed, would like to have some counseling about your practice or about your life. If Shakyamuni Buddha is reincarnated and he's in Columbia Green County Community College, you'd like to go there and meet him. But when you read the scriptures, then you can meet him. You can hear his word. Sotasan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, said 6 items of mindfulness in our daily practice. 6 items. In other words, very essential ones. Number 3 says, if you have a free time, be mindful to study scriptures. Our third head Dharma master said, the first teacher you can refer to is the scripture. There is a Chinese idiom called 위편삼절. In all the days in China, before the invention of a paper, instead of a paper, they use a specially processed bamboo or silk. So, 위편삼절 means the leather strip that bind scripture was worn out and broken 3 times. Confucius read the book of Il Ching, the book of Il Ching, so many times. So the leather strip was worn out several times. That tells the importance of studying scripture. What is a scripture or a dharma? How to say? It is a mirror, first of all. When I was in elementary school, when I took a nap, my brother wrote something on my face with a crayon. When I woke up and go out of my room, my sister burst into laughter, seeing my face. So when I look into the mirror, it says, 도성 바보. 바보 means a fool. Just like when we look into mirror, we can tell which part is right or wrong, clean or dirty. When we read scripture, when we study Dharma, we can tell our thoughts or words or deed, this or that is righteous or not, or this choice is leading to freedom, or it's just a temporary gratification, and so on. It works just like a mirror to reflect ourselves. The second thing, the Dharma is a food or nutrition, just like our body needs a nutrition. Our mind also needs some spiritual food, like compassion, wisdom, concentration, calm state of mind, and so on. For example, when you go to a restaurant and when you order a chicken soup, if the waiter gives you a chicken that's alive, and the water and the lighter and some wooden piece, some water and seasons, then probably we will never go to that restaurant. We want already cooked meal. Scriptures are kind of already cooked meal. The Dharma is a very broad abstract, the universal truth. The cosmic law itself is too broad. So just like a manual, for example, when we buy a washer, then it just tells us several things that we really need to know how to use that washer like that. All those essential things are contained in the scripture. And scriptures are kind of the medicine that cure ourselves. Sorry, but would you all raise your right hand, left hand, tilt your head to your left. So all of you have no problem at all to use your body. But think about that. Can we control our mind as we can control our body? All of us have some bad habit. Sometimes it's minor, sometimes it's significant. It is not easy to break that. All of us have some attachment we'd like to let go of. It is not easy to drop those attachments. Unlike our body, we cannot control or use our mind. For example, when our stomach is not functioning well, and the stomach is ill, it is sick. So Buddha called humans as patients, in the sense that our mind is not well, because we cannot use our mind at will, even though it is our mind. And the Buddha called himself as Bhisakho. The Sanskrit means a great physician, the king of doctors, Buddha. Sometimes the Buddha called himself as Salakato Anuttaro. That means supreme surgeon. Supreme surgeon. Just like when I have some people, I always take Advil. It works wonderfully to me. Likewise, when our mind does not function very, very well, in order for our mind to be fixed, to be whole, we needed to take sometimes the medicine of Buddha's Dharma, Buddha's teaching. And so Tezan spoke with a strong dialect, He said, 먹기만 먹으면 선약이다. This literally means, if only you take this medicine, it is a wonder drug. It implies his teaching, or the teaching of the realized one. When I worked at the One Institute of Graduate Studies, that school has 3 departments. One is the acupuncture program. One day, one herb doctor, American herb doctor, read my purse. And just like a fortune teller or psychic, he talked to me a lot of things about my personality, my tendency, my understanding. I was very, very much surprised. Just like that herb doctor exactly diagnosed my symptom. Buddha or all the realized ones exactly knows which part needs to be fixed, which part should be improved, and so on. When I was in regular college, my friend fell in love with another student with the same major. And at the time, there was no email in the early 80s. He wrote to her love letters a lot of times. And several months later, he received a letter from her. And he so proudly showed that letter to me. And there was nothing significant at all, but he interpreted, wow, she started to like me. And he read the letter again and again, and he almost memorized the letter. My teacher told me, scripture, dharmas are like the love letters that is sent by the realized ones who really cares about us, who really cherish about us. For example, when it comes to our parents, they love us, they care about us, but they may not have the wisdom, or they may not have the power to guide us. But the Buddha has the wisdom and the love, compassion, all these things, and it's contained in the scripture. And Bumtawan, the Master Bumtawan was the head minister of the Daegu Won Buddhist temple where my parents attended for their whole life. When she was young, when she was a student, she was the one of her duty was to clean the founding master's room after morning meditation. Founding master passed away at the age of 54. So since he reached 52, he started to write for many years. For some time, I did not eat, I did not sleep, and so on. But you can just follow the path that I have shown. It's a great blessing for you to meet the teaching of the realized ones. Let me read this one. Such was the case when I had no one to guide me on the path of seeking the truth. An absence of guidance led me to undergo various extreme ascetic practices. On the other hand, how fortunate you are to have me as your experienced teacher, who has paved a great wide path for any blind person to follow with a sense of assurance, and has built a comfortable house in which you can devote yourselves to your studies, free from care or worries. Despite such fortune, seeking some other path, while here in this house, as some of you are still inclined to, will be in vain effort, no matter how long and hard you try to. If you abandon your disbelief and apply faith, zeal, doubt, sincerity continuously, you will no doubt succeed. In older days, in order to make a living, many people have to work all day long. Still, in many underdeveloped countries, to bring the bacon on the table, they have to work for a very, very lengthy hour. But these days, we have some free time after dinner on weekend. And also, in older days, only the priest group, only a select group of people could read and write, but you're all people in this contemporary society can read and write, especially in States. And in older days, before the printing technique, scriptures were not available and super expensive. Did you see the Bible in older days? When I visited the British Museum, the Bible as thick as this one, made from the parchment. But these days, you can instantly download all kinds of scripture on the website. In older days, for Korean or Japanese monk to attain Buddhist scripture, they have to travel to China or sometimes to India. When they try to go to India to read the original scripture written in Sanskrit or Pali, they have to literally climb over the Himalayas. 9 out of 10 people could not come back. They died on their path. So we do not have this kind of obstructions these days. So let's utilize this precious chance to study scripture in order to liberate ourselves. And our founding master said, "Your meeting me is much like a blind person grabbing hold of a door handle. Since you have already held it, you are to keep holding it firmly. If you are careless and let it go, it will not be easy to take hold of it again." Actually, today is in Won Buddhism, we call that Great Enlightenment Day, the day when our founding master reached the Great Enlightenment. It's the biggest celebration day. That's why our several ministers went to Manhattan, Won Buddhist temple, to join that event. So, however, when I think that we are all born as human beings and the Buddha's teaching, then I always reflect myself. Let's not let go of this precious chance along with all other people. Okay, thank you.